Hi, Kathy Pecora with Atlanta Area Property Management. So today I'm going to talk about HB404. It's the Safe at Home Act that was just passed here in Georgia. It will be effective July 1st, 2024, and it will affect all new leases and all lease renewals. There are 4 key elements to this act that I'm going to go over. So the first key element is number 1, the landlord shall keep the premises in repair and the home must be fit for human habitation. So what that means to us is that the home must be good enough for you to put your mom in it. If you wouldn't put your mom in the home, then you probably need to do some repairs. This particular law is going to be subject to interpretation by a judge, and so the way we operate is we don't want to be slumlords anyways, whether we do Section 8 homes or not. We want all homes to be good enough for us to live in. Number 2, it expands the definition of utilities. So what that means is that it covers heat, electric, water, and now it includes cooling. In the past, it did not. So what that means is that if, like, for example, in the wintertime, if the heat goes out and you can't get an HVAC guy over there to fix it right away, you have to provide heat. And so we do that anyways. And now they have expanded this to cooling. So if you have cooling in your house and you can't get it repaired, like that day or the next day, then you have to provide either window units or some type of portable cooling system. And it will have to stay there until the unit can get fixed. So that expands the utilities. The third element is you can no longer have more than 2 months security deposit. Now for us, this is not a big one because we really go by our strict requirements that if they don't meet those requirements, then they are turned away, and we don't even fiddle with additional deposit generally. But what this means is that for some people, if they, let's say, like in our case, our 650 credit score is our minimum, and let's say somebody comes back with a 640 credit score, but everything about their history looks really good. Well, in some cases, we could ask for 2 or 3 times the security deposit for the tenant to go ahead and move forward. And now this law says the most you can ask for is 2 months rent. So what's going to happen now, and I don't think they actually thought this through, people with dicey credit scores now are probably not going to be able to get homes because the purpose of the security deposit for many of these owners is that they're giving these people who didn't take care of their credit an opportunity to be able to move into a home and try and fix their credit. Now this is going to pretty much do away with a lot of that. And then the fourth element is the demand for possession. So if you have a tenant that hasn't paid rent and now you want the house back, you're going to file for eviction. What we have to do now is we have to provide a 3-day notice, written notice. That written notice has to be put into a sealed envelope, and then it has to be physically tacked in a conspicuous space on the door. So if you have a tenant that really uses the carport door all the time, like we always use the garage and I never look at my front door. So we will now have to tack 2 notices, one on the front door and then one on the side door in a conspicuous space because it has to be seen. And then we have to then take a picture of it so that if we ever end up in court, we can say, yes, here's our picture that we took of this particular notice. And then we also deliver it like through the mail. But the bad part about this one is that means we physically have to go out there and deliver this notice. Well, if you've ever had to deal with tenants that have not paid because something happens in their life, they're very upset, they're anxious, and now we're sending somebody to go tack on their front door a demand notice. That just puts a lot of people in some very harmful situations. And so this one we're not really looking forward to. We're probably going to end up having to hire a person to do that. So that's added expenses to the owners. But hopefully, because of our criteria, we don't have to deal with evictions. So that is the HB404 Safe at Home Act, and that goes into effect July 1st, 2024 for all new leases and all lease renewals.